Alright, so I bought a 99 Miata, and then I converted right-hand drive already. I mean, let's see, let me get my light. So it's already converted right-hand drive from left-hand drive. But now I'm taking the subframe out to put this. So when I'm putting a 13B 70P engine into the Miata, but in order to do it, you have to put a different subframe. So I'm gonna take the factory subframe off the car and then swap it in for this one, and then put a transmission on to measure the drive shaft length, because I already have the differential already in place. I still have to notch the top a little bit, like this right here has to come off, just because it's not a Miata differential, it's a RX-7 Turbo 2 differential. I mean, you can see how big that thing is in there. So do the subframe, put the transmission on the engine, and then kind of hold it up so I can measure everything. Got to measure drive shaft length and then axle length. So I'm gonna use the Turbo 2 RX-7 differential, but with the Miata hubs, just so I don't have to like go crazy and change the hubs in the car. So we're not just basically got the subframe out of the car already, and you can tell the difference now compared to the other one. So even though that's right-hand drive, it's basically the same thing. The only thing that changes is the rack. So the subframe is still the same. But you can see all the extra clearance, like all this stuff is completely gone out of it. That way it's allowed to put engine in it. That way we can put it lower without getting in the way of the turbo or the manifold or nothing like that. So now I just gotta put it up there and then put a transmission in there and somehow bolt it up without like having it fall on my head, so I can measure everything, and then should be done with this car today. Until the drive shaft and everything's cut, then I can start working on it again. Alright, so I lied. Subframe doesn't really fit. I mean, it fits, but it's made for left-hand drive. I thought it was gonna be the same. But after looking at the factory subframe versus the right-hand drive one, you can see the pickup point is right on this wall right here on the right-hand drive. And then over here is farther to the right after the weld. So I mean, it's an easy fix. All I have to do is just weld a new tabs for the steering rack, and I'll be done. But I mean, it's up there, so now I can actually start making the mounts for it. I finally got it off. I cut them off, but I noticed that I have to do some more work because this side of the rack is flat, but the other side has a bushing on it, so I can't just use the same brackets that I had. And also, let me see where I put them. The brackets, the hardware, I think is like I want to say M8 or M10. I think it's 10, but these are way bigger. So I need to make from scratch the brackets for this side, and then one from here I'm probably gonna get Rob to help me make. That way the steering rack will sit about right there. You can see it on the subframe over here. So one side's flat and then one side's beveled down. So I'm about to figure this out. So another little setback.